guys, Van Trails here. Today we are showing you how we do our dishes. Quick disclaimer, don't mind the mess. It's laundry day. There's laundry hanging everywhere. I'm still drinking my coffee and yeah, it's a bit messy today in the van. We're getting ready to go on a big trip down to Croatia. So we're prepping the van and everything to be leaving it for a week. Anyways, back to our dishes. This morning we had a simple breakfast, and so we don't have too many dishes, but I just wanted to show you how we do our dishes because some people have been asking us the weirdest things, like if we just wipe them out, if we brought back Clorox wipes from the States, and people ask us if that's what we use or if we just use wipies to clean it. Like, how the heck do you do your dishes? And it's really like we do them how a normal person would. We just don't use as much water, and we don't actually have a sink in the van. That was a decision that we made just because we both like to cook, and we knew that we wanted a lot of counter space in the van. So we decided that a sink was not going to work because it would take up too much room in such a small van. So I'm going to show you how we have made our own kitchen sink. Jay put it together, and then show you how it actually works, how we do our dishes with it. So here we go. So first things first, this is our cabinet, our food, our everything is on the top part. And then underneath, under my arm, is where we keep our water jugs. We have one clean water jug and one gray water jug. We just bought them off of Amazon. We'll put a link below to all the descriptions. Actually, I'll do a blog post on the different parts that you need to make the sink that we're using. And that will have everything linked to it. We'll link that below. But anyways, so we have one water jug. We fill our water at a local hardware store. They have a tap on the outside that is clean water. We drink it. We don't really know where the water comes from, but it's clean enough to drink. We asked a couple of the workers, and they said they wouldn't drink it or even use it as potable water, but we've been using it for a few months now and haven't gone sick, so whatever. Anyways, so one jug here with clean water and a spigot, a spout hose or top. This is not what it came with. We had to buy this separately as well, but way better than what we had before. So our other jug is the gray water one here, and this is what the jugs came with. Not ideal for pouring out of, obviously. So we bought this other one for like 5 pounds or something like that, and it's so much nicer than having this. And then we use the old one of these to make the sink part of it. So we have our gray water, our clean water, and then underneath right here, our little shelf, don't mind my really dirty sock. Underneath our little shelving bed thing, we have our sink. So the sink part Jason made out of, like I said, the old cap to our clean water jug. We had this bowl in our old flat before we moved into the van and didn't have a use for it. We were never going to use this big of a bowl in the van, so we're like, how can we use it to make a sink? So Jay just drilled holes in the bottom of it. You can see he drilled 7 holes. 3 of them are like see-through. You could see all the way through them. That's for the water to drain. The other 3 are holding our screws in that are keeping on this extra component. And then we just use caulking. Probably not the best way to do it, but whatever, it's working for us. We just use caulking to seal the outside so the water doesn't leak. So what we do is we just take the lid off of our gray water tank like this, and then this just screws onto it, so our sink drains right into this. The really cool thing is, because of the air pressure, or however the science is behind it, if we tighten this all the way, the water actually won't go in here because the air that's in here can't escape from it. So really, we can fill this up if we wanted to just hand wash in here, and the water won't drip down, which sorry, which we think is crazy. It's super cool. And then when you do want the water to drip down into the gray water, then you just loosen this up a bit and it will go on down. And I'll show you that when I'm doing our dishes. So anyways, gray water set up right here. Then we have our clean water, and then we typically use hot water to wash the dishes, and then if we need more water, we'll use this cold water. Just so that the dishes obviously get cleaner. And then this morning I have hot water left from when we boiled water for our coffee, so that worked out fine. But let's get into the dishes. So all the dishes we wipe down first so that we don't get chunks of stuff in our gray water tank. So just wipe down the chunks of stuff off of it. And then get into the soap and water. So our sponge, we just put a little bit of soap on the sponge, and then use hot water, get the sponge wet, and that's all the water that you really need if the dishes are already wiped off, so it's super nice. And then that's our like hot water, and then obviously just wash the dishes. So now this is our last dish that I have. I'm going to dump the water into our gray water and then scrub it, and then that's all of our hot water that we used to clean all the dishes. We have all the dishes washed. We wiped them down first, then washed them with warm water that was left over from our coffee. And speaking of coffee, give me some of this. Anyways, wiped them all off. First, scrubbed them clean with the warm soapy water, and then now we're gonna rinse them all, and I'll hopefully be able to show you what I mean about the sink stopping the water from going in and out. Anyways, let's go. So typically, just to save more water, we'll put something actually in there because we can rinse the knives and everything. So we'll rinse the silverware and all of that first and have that water just go into this, and then use that to rinse this out. We really don't use that much water. I don't know how many liters this thing is, but we go through one of these every week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And we cook almost every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And yeah, we really don't use that much water. We will like fill up our drinking waters if we're on campus or at a cafe or something like that. We'll fill up those there. So maybe we would be using more if we were using it for that. But typically it lasts us a week and a half to 2 weeks. Just this much water, doing all of our dishes, having coffee in the morning, cooking with it, whatever. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so for all those dishes we just did, 2 plates, a fork and a spoon, a spatula thing, a pan, a knife, and our leftover container from what we had our salsa in. All of that only used this little pot of water. So I collected it all to show you. We only used a little bit of water. That's one of our favorite things about being in the van, is how much we're saving the environment. So super cool, super easy way. It did take some time to get used to pouring out of that, and we do sometimes just pour out of an Nalgene, which I think we actually save more water when we do that. So we'll fill a Nalgene up with water and then use that to pour, which we have a bit more control over than this honkin' thing. But regardless, either way, super, super nice. Not very much water that we're using. So I wanted to show you the sink. If we tighten it, I'm going to dump this water in here. I'm going to tighten the sink first and then dump the water in and show you how it stays actually in the sink. So again, just tighten the bowl so that the air can escape, and then with the pressure, the water won't go into the sink. Okay, so again, I tighten the bowl so that the pressure occurs, and then I'm going to dump all this water that we used into the sink. So it's just draining just a wee bit. There's enough water in there to now rinse my sponge and just have the water sitting in there as a collecting, if you wanted to use it to rinse stuff. Now that there's no more pressure, it's not draining anymore. So there's not enough space inside of it to drain the rest of the water. And then, if you want it gone, you see that little air bubble? If you, if you want it to drain, you just loosen that. And the air that's able to escape now from the tightening thing allows the water to go in. So it's pretty nifty. It's like a little drain and plug. So after we finish doing our dishes, we take a Clorox wipe. They're probably not the best. Like, we could probably use some essential oils or tea tree wipes or something like that. Make our own wipes. But for now, use these. Keeping the van clean, I am like OCD about it. You can't tell right now because everything's a mess. But keeping the van clean, like, my nose is super strong, and so I always want everything clean. We typically take the garbage out right away, which I'll do after I wipe down everything. Do the dishes right away, because if you don't, it makes stuff smell, and then I think our clothes all smell and everything. I'm crazy. Anyways, we do the dishes and then wipe down everything with a Clorox wipe. We actually wipe down the counter underneath the dish rag, the drying rag first, and then put the drying rag down, and then use the wipe after we're done with all the dishes to wipe down the rest of the counter. We wipe down the stove every single time we use it, just to keep it in good condition. And again, just to get we don't want any of the smell, we don't want anything to be gross in here. So, Clorox wipe to wipe down everything, and then after we wipe down everything, with the Clorox wipe, we wipe down the sink to kind of sanitize that as well. So here we go. So there we go, super easy, quick, sufficient way of doing the dishes and not having a sink wasting the counter space. And then we just hide our gray water underneath. Most people have their gray water and water in general tied down. We don't. We probably should. But we just tuck it back under the cabinet here. Gray water goes in. Clean water, switch the nozzle over. And there you go. Our sink's put away. Our dishes are done. I'm gonna dry them and put them away, and then finish getting the van ready. If you have any questions, if you want more of a tutorial or have a bit more questions about how exactly to make this actual sink part of it, shoot us or give us a comment, shoot us an email. We'll have a blog post on this as well, and a blog post on the step-by-step process of how to make the sink. Super, super easy. Like I said, it didn't cost very much, and yeah, super easy. Again, one of our favorite parts and one of the reasons we chose to do a sink like this is because it doesn't take up extra counter space. So space is super limited when you're in a van. It's more than enough, but counter space for us, because we both like to cook at the same time and everything, was super pertinent, so we didn't want to waste any with a sink. So yeah, anyways, again, comments, questions, whatever. If you like it, thumbs up. If you want more of these kind of videos, subscribe to our channel. We'll be sharing more of our adventures in the van and more of how-to videos of how to do stuff in the van, how we keep things clean, how we're living, and then of course like videos about how to make the different things and what are essential to having in a van. Anyways, cheers guys, have a good day.